Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, or Edith, or Eve, whatever you want to call me. I know I have confused some people, I think, especially the new people that don't know me very well. A lot of you older people that have been on here for a while or have met me at some of our classes and know me, so you know my name is actually Edith, Edith, Ray, W-R-A-Y. But a long time ago, when I was teaching Sunday school classes, my little ones couldn't call me, they couldn't say Miss Edith. That was like a big mouthful for them. So they started calling me Miss E. So it kind of stuck with me through the years. A lot of people now, even adults now in church and different places, will call me Miss E. So that's kind of what I started going by. And then my daughter's name is Melina. So the M-E at the end of Scrapbooking with, the M-E is for Melina and Edith. So just thought I'd throw that in there for you in case some of you are wondering. All right, we're going to make a little bit of something today. Now this was inspired by Gi Kerr, and I will put her link to the video that she did below. She does beautiful, beautiful work. But I'm going to do a little bit of a twist on mine, a little bit different. But I'm going to be using these 6x9 envelopes. Now, I just got a little bundle of these for like, I don't know, $5. But this is the size that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use 1.5 of them. So you can actually get the full project out of one and then half of another one. So I'm going to lay those aside. Now I have already kind of trimmed mine up just so that you could see what I've done, and it would save a little bit of time. This is the half of the one, and I did cut the little flap off. So that's half of one, and then this is a whole one, and it has the flap cut off of this one too. And I also, these little, which I mean, I didn't know this when I ordered them that it had those on it, but those little things, I took those out because we're not going to need them on here. We're going to cover this with paper, so it's not really going to matter that there's a little hole right there, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now, on G's video, she did a large one and put a lot more things on there, but I'm going to do kind of a small one because I want to include this in one of my journals. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut down the sides, and you're just going to cut a tiny, tiny sliver off of there, just enough to open it up. So cut down both sides, cut your little flap off, and then cut down both sides of your other one, and then cut it in half so that you'll have a 1.5 here. Now go ahead and fold it in the center. Just find your center mark and fold that up like that. And then this one, go ahead and fold that piece. And what it's going to do is it's going to slide in here like that. So we're going to have a pocket here, and a pocket here. Now, G went in hers, she only had this part, and she went in here and she put some papers, I think tea-dyed papers or whatever. She sewed those in there so that she could make a little journal. But I want this to be able to be included in our journal, so that's why I'm not including the papers in here. I'm just going to make this be pockets, and then you can stitch it in your journal at either side here. And then you will have pockets and journaling spaces and that kind of thing in here. So what we're going to do first is I want to cover this with paper, and I'm just going to cover this whole side with the same color paper, and then we'll fold it up. And I have printed off the paper collection from Shabbydabbydoodah. That is Tina. And let me see if I can even this up. I trimmed that awful crooked. This one is called Paris in Bloom, and I will try to remember to link it below. If I forget, you can just go to Etsy, to Shabbydabbydoodah, and type in Paris in Bloom, and you will find this one. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful collection. So we're going to cover that with this paper, I think, and I have just trimmed off the edges. It prints out about like that. Has some little white edges around it. And I tell it to print, but let me talk right. I tell it to print at full 100% so that it'll print just as close to those edges as possible. Now, if you have a printer that prints borderless, you can choose that as well. Mine will print borderless, but I have to go into a lot of different little contraptions to get it to do that, so it's not a big deal to me that I waste 1/4 inch of paper Not a big deal. And then I just trim that little excess off of there. So we're going to trim this down, and I'm just going to lay it on here, and I'm going to let very little of that brown envelope show. Just the slightest little bit. Then we're going to ink that up. So I'm going to go right there. And then I'm going to mark it right there. I think that will be about right. And then, let me see. I want to lay this down. I'm just going to line my little paper up here with one of my grid marks. And then I'll get my ruler and line my ruler up there, and then I'm just going to tear this little piece off right here. And of course I'll save that piece for little clusters or things like that. So we're going to line this one up. And if I cut it anywhere near straight, then it should tear straight. And I should end up with a somewhat straight piece. I don't worry if it's a little off. That's not a big concern of mine. So just do it the best that you can. There we go. That looks good enough to me. Now we're going to go ahead and glue this down. And I'm just going to open this up so that I can glue it down. And I'm going to use my glue stick on this, just because this paper, I printed it on just probably 110-pound cardstock, so it's not a really thick paper, but it's a little bit thicker than just your average printer paper. I didn't want it to be too thick, but I didn't want it to be so thin either. Now, I'm not putting my glue all the way up to the edges. If you're not going to stitch, then make sure that you put your glue all the way up to the edge. But I'm going to stitch mine, so I'm not going to worry about getting right up to the edge. That way I don't have to wait on it to dry. Alright. That looks good enough. It's a little bit off, but it looks good enough to me. By the time we finish embellishing it, we're not going to know the difference. Now, as you see, this envelope has just a little bit of a dip in it, and my paper came on out. I'm just going to leave the paper just like it is. You could go ahead and cut that if you wanted to, but I'm going to wait till I get it put together, and then I'll clip out my little thumb pull on that. Alright, so that's going to be that one. And what we'll do after we stitch is we'll fold that up. Now, we want to cover... You don't have to cover this part, because that's going to be inside a pocket. This one and this one you don't have to cover. So we can just go ahead and put an X on those so we don't get confused. So we're going to make sure that that's folded about right there. And I'm just going to go over it with my bone folder. And someone messaged me last night. We do have these bone folders back in stock. We can't keep them in stock. They sell out as fast as we get them in. But if you ever see them in stock, you better grab one if you want it. Alright, we're going to put that together like that. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover this side of this. So, what are we going to cover it with? I think I'll just cover it with this. This is a little bit different than that one. So we will cover like this. And I'm just marking the edges with my pencil. And then we'll line it up on the grid again, just like we did before. And then we'll do some tearing. And I don't really have a tear ruler. This is just a metal ruler. But it tears fine as long as I remember to hold it nice and tight. That's why I flip it over, because this side's got that rubbery part on it. And sometimes it'll mess me up if I try to tear from that side. So, alright. There we go. Line that up right there. And just make sure that the bottom is lined up on one of those grid lines. There we go. Looks good to me. And then we can just tear that off. Okay. And here we go. We're just going to put that down right there. And I think I'm going to trim this just a tiny bit right here. It went just a little bit crooked, or I went a little bit crooked. And it doesn't have enough of my little bag showing there. Or my little envelope. So we just want to make sure that just a tiny bit shows all the way around. And that's enough. Right there, I do believe. And sometimes if I really wonder if I've cut it straight, I just do this. And I can tell that I'm still a little bit off. So we're just going to go right in there. Trim that down. Just a little. It's just a hair. And then we're ready to put this one down. Now I'm just using an old magazine to do my gluing on. I don't use book pages because I like all book pages, so I'm not going to put my glue on book pages. And it's hard for me to get book pages. The only ones that I have is what you guys have sent to me, so I'm definitely not going to glue on those. So I just use old magazines or old notebooks, anything like that that I know that's going to go in the trash anyway. It's a good way to recycle them. And it keeps my husband happy because he doesn't have to fool with them. Because I usually go dig them out of the garbage, because as soon as they come in, he'll put them in the garbage. I'm like, don't throw those away, I want them. Okay, and that's going to glue just like that to that part. So we're going to go ahead and fold this up, I think. Just going to fold it in the center. And I'm a little bit behind on comments again. You guys are getting used to that, aren't you? Every time I think I'm caught up, I look and there's like 1,000 more in there. So it's taking me just a little bit, but I'll get there. All right. Okay, and then that is going to go like that. So see, you'll have this pocket here, and then you're going to have a pocket over here. So the first thing that I'm going to do, let's see, do we want to, yeah, I want to put paper on the back too, I think, because that's going to actually be a page as well. So let's grab another piece. What shall we put on there? Let's just try this one since we're talking about Paris. Let's try this one. So let's see if I can tear this anywhere near straight. Well, I tore it. Not going to say it's straight, but it's torn. Now this paper on your screen, you may think, well, that paper is blurry. It's supposed to be. This is the design of this paper. It's supposed to be a little bit hazy looking. So that's the design. So don't think there's something wrong with it. Because if you're ever in doubt when you buy paper, if it's supposed to look the way that it is or not, you can always look at the words. And if the words are clear and the background is a little bit hazy, then you know it's supposed to be that way. Alright, we're going to glue that down right there. I love that little bird. I'm going to get that little bird in there. Let's see if I can get the pear. No. Okay, if I do it, let's see. We're going to think about this. Try to get the bird and the word. The bird and the word in there. Alright. I think I can get it if I do that. So let's go ahead and mark that right there. And we're going to mark that right there. Then, come down here. And mark right there. Hopefully that's going to get it. Then we'll have our word and the bird in there. I didn't do a video yesterday. I guess you guys saw. I was tired. I'd had my grandbabies. I love keeping my grandbabies, and we have so much fun. But when they leave, I'm exhausted. we played games, we played Trouble, we watched movies until they fell asleep. Papa and I was still going strong, but they fell asleep. And then the next day we got up and we did breakfast together, and we just did all kinds of things. And then I played more games with them, and we painted shells, and we painted rocks. And so by the time their mom and dad come and got them, I was exhausted. And then I couldn't sleep. I was so tired Saturday night that I couldn't sleep good. So by the time we got home Sunday from church, I was a zombie. I said, I've got to sleep tonight. So we crashed last night. I was so tired. Or Saturday night. But I did not even think about doing a video yesterday. I was just resting. Okay, we'll glue that down right there, and that looks a little bit off, so let me look at it. Oh, I think it'll be okay. Let's glue that down on there. And I'm just going to glue in the middle. Not going to put glue right on the edge. Let me make sure that I am getting the right way up. Yes. Okay. Stop. Okay. Let me try that again. It grabbed a little bit quicker than I wanted it to. There we go. Okay, so this is what we'll have. It'll be like that. And then there'll be the back. So I'm going to stitch around this real quick, and then we'll come back and start putting everything together. Alright, we have everything stitched around. Now this one, I don't have it, just a little bitty pull in that one, as you can see. I actually stitched around that one before I meant to. So I just put a little pull in there because I didn't want to have to redo all my stitches. So we're going to go ahead now and glue this piece on, and I'm just going to glue it right up the sides, across the bottom, and then up this side. Now you could do this with just plain paper if you don't have any envelopes that you want to use up. You can do it with paper. Just do the folds just like this. It doesn't matter. Lay that over and use my paper towel to press that down. There we go. So we've got, when you fold it up, it looks like this. And I really think I'm going to put something else on the front. Definitely. I will use something out of some ephemera. Cut these strings off right here. But then when you open it up, you have a pocket here. And you can see, I think I'm going to go ahead and stitch right down through there. That's just going to hold my pockets in. It's going to hold them separate. We'll stitch right down through there and right down through there. Like I said, you do not have to do this. You can just use that glue and let that be your little center part there if you want to. But I will probably, after the video, I'll probably go back and just put a stitch line down through there. And then one right down through there. And that'll just make sure that my pockets hold together well. Alright, so we don't have this one glued down yet. What we're going to do is run a bead of glue down through here. Now I'm going to go ahead and run it, even though I'm going to stitch. If I was not going to show you guys, I would just stitch it and leave it. But I am showing you how you can do if you're just going to glue. I wouldn't even put the glue on here if I wasn't on video. I would just stitch it down. But see, you can put that glue there and then just press that down well. Then you have, let's go ahead and, then you have your pocket here, your pocket here, up here, and then your pocket back here. So we'll go ahead and fold that over. Let's give it another good press. And see, these are quick and easy to make. And I would have never thought about putting one together like this had I not seen Gi's video. So thank you, Gi. You did a great job. Your work is exceptional, I'm telling you. All right, we're going to put a little bit of something on the front. So what shall we put? Probably going to go back to the collection kit. I printed out all of the extra pieces. So what do we want on there? We could put this picture of Paris on there. That would be pretty, wouldn't it? I think that would fit well. So let's go ahead and tear this out. And okay, so we've got that torn out, and look, that's going to fit perfect on the front of that. Now I'm going to ink mine. That's not something that you have to do, but I think I'm going to ink it in a rose color. I'm going to ink in Victorian Velvet. That's the name of this one. Goes good with this paper collection. Oh yes, that looks pretty. And then I am also going to ink my envelope. I'm going to ink all around it. Make sure that I've got all of that brown inked up a little bit. I don't care that if I cover it completely, but I just want to have a little bit of ink on there. Okay, now we need to make sure that we close up this little bottom right here, so that our tags don't fall through. I almost forgot until I was inking and I saw it hadn't been closed. So I'm just going to put a little ink in there. Close that up. There we go. So cute. Alright. Close this back over. And I know I want to do that, but I think I want to do some other things too. So let's see what else we got. I know I want to do some vellum under that, I think. So let's find a piece of vellum. There we go. That one should work right there. Yes, that's going to work. Now I'm going to tear just a tiny bit around this. I just want that torn look instead of it being so cropped off. So I'm just tearing just as little as I can so that it'll still poke out on all sides of my centerpiece that I'm putting on here. There we go. And I'm going to put just a little bit of ink on the edges of this. So that will go down like that. That piece will go down there. That's cute. Now let's see if we have anything else that we want to use on this. And I'm just looking through the paper collection here. Okay, I think this little piece would look cute right here, so I'm going to cut this out. And I will just fussy cut around that rose there. Okay, now I did back this with heavier cardstock just because I want to stitch around it to make it pop up from the page a little bit more. And then I tore a little piece right there, as you can see, just tore it open. And then I just take my finger, and sometimes I have to wet it. I have to wet my finger. I've got a little ink pad over here a little ink pad cleaner over here that I wet it in. And then you just roll that up. Just roll it with your finger to make it look like that. And then I just put ink on that little roll like that. Then we're going to grab a piece of lace and put behind there. So just grab a scrap piece of lace. And I may have to prise this one up just a little bit because I glued it down before I thought I was going to put lace into there. So I'm just going to lift it just a tiny bit. Don't have to lift it much. Let's see, is that going to work right there? Okay, we put that down there. Yeah, that's going to work. So let's use a little bit of Fabri-Tac to glue that down. And then I'll just trim the excess lace off of that. Now I'm just going to use my little pokey tool and I'm just going to push that up under there as far as it'll go. And I don't care if it wrinkles a little bit, that doesn't bother me. And then we're just going to roll that back up just like it was. And then I'm going to glue it. I'm going to glue that little roll down just so it doesn't keep popping up or unrolling. This one is sticking down fine, so I don't have to do anything to that one, I don't think. And I am going to stitch, but I'm not going to stitch here. I'm just going to stitch around through here and make it look like that was just torn, you know, in the aging process or whatever. So we're going to clip that off. So see, that's what it looks like now. Got that little piece of lace behind there. Let's go over that, the edge of that with some of this Victorian velvet, and then just want to make sure my little piece there is inked up well, and then I'm just going to stitch around this real quick. That's what it looks like. So I think that's cute. Okay, now let's decide how we want to put everything down. I'm just going to turn that a little bit because I want more of it showing. So I'm just going to turn it a little bit like that. Put my card a little bit over this way. And then we'll ink this up. Okay, then I think we'll put that down. Where shall we put it? Let's see. Let's run that up. Put that maybe right there. Well, I didn't want to cover my sewing up, but I think I'm going to cover just a piece of it up and put it like that. I think that's pretty. So then, I could put a piece of that lace right there too. Right under that. Oh, that whole roll of lace just dropped in the floor. Wasn't that sweet? So what do we think about that? I know I'll trim that lace off, but just to get an idea, what do you think about that? I like it. Okay, I am going to roll this vellum up a little bit. If I have a piece that's sticking up, instead of cutting it off, I just roll it up. I like that better. And most of the time I don't even glue around the edge when I'm putting something on top of it like this. I let it roll on its own. You know, vellum will roll when it gets a little older. So the more this is used in a book, the more this is going to roll up on the edges. And see, if you use art glitter glue, now I don't know about other glues, but when this dries, you're not going to see any glue in the background. But we're going to put our little piece on here anyway, so we're not worried about that. Alright, let's glue this piece down. Then I'm going to put that lace, I think right there, right across the bottom, and then put this little piece on top of it. Okay, I think that has the front, and let me get it out of my light so you can see. That has the front of our little book there. Now we can open this up and do a little bit on the inside. I'm not going to do a lot now because I'll end up going back and doing something else later when I put this in my journal. But for now we're just going to do, and it's got that little piece on there. We could just put a word in there. Let's see, what words do we have? She had some words on here too. That's remember, beauty, moments. Let's put moments in there. You can glue that down right there. I think this is just going to be another tuck, little tag tuck. So I'm just going to have this tucked in one of the pockets. Maybe that will work. Lay that over there. Now let's see what we have. So let's put a little bit of ink around this just to make it stand out. And we will put this down right there. Okay, put a little glue right there. I keep hanging my finger on that little piece. There we go. And I'm going to see if there's anything else in here that I might want to use. There's some really pretty pieces in this kit. It's got little pockets and pages and envelopes, all kinds of things. Alright, let's just go ahead and pull our next page up. And what shall we do on this one? I don't know. We could, I think, cut this one out and use it as a little fold out. Okay, let's see. What shall we do? We could put that one here and just have it as a little tuck. Let's try that. Let me find something to back this on. Is that piece wide enough? Okay, I backed that on a piece of heavier cardstock, and then I'm just going to ink around it a little bit. Whoops. I definitely need to cut a little bit straighter right there. And then I think I'll have that just as a little tuck. And I think I might round this corner, this one corner. Oh. That one right there. So we'll put that right there and let that be just a little side tuck that we can put something in if we want to. So all I'm going to do is glue down this side and across the bottom. And you can see I don't waste any paper that's got writing on the back, but I don't care. I like that. And I could have stitched around that one, but I didn't, and that's okay. We don't have to stitch around everything. Alright, got that as a little side tuck. And my fingers are sticking to everything. Now what can we tuck in there? You know, this little piece right here, this little oval piece that says Paris, that would be cute. Let's try to back that on something. Yeah, it'll back on that. And this is only part of the kit. This kit is huge. So if you want the kit, go over to Etsy, to Shabbydabbydoodah, and then just look up, what did I say it was called? Paris in Bloom, maybe? Yeah, Paris in Bloom. Alright, let's put some glue on that. I'm going to back it on a heavier cardstock, just like that. I've got glue, I think, all the way up to my elbows. That's me and this glue stick. Now, I don't know how oval this will be when I finish cutting it, because me and ovals and circles do not go well together. But we'll do our best. Oh, that's not too bad. It could have been worse. Could have been worse. All right, I think, let's see. Tuck that in. Oh yeah, that's gonna be cute. Cute, cute, cute. So let's go ahead and ink this up. And so you've got journaling room on the back. And then that will tuck in right there, like that. And then over here, I think I'm just going to put a little piece of vellum to make another pocket. I got my mumbo jumbo folder here. Yeah, I'm just going to cut it about right there. I don't know where my pencil went. It stuck in my finger a while ago, so I guess I dropped it. I'm going to cut right across there. I was just cutting where the writing is. Okay, put a little ink around it. And then we'll glue this down right at the bottom. And I'm just going to put a little glue around the side, the bottom, and then up that side. Whoops. See, I just stuck my hand to that glue. There we go. And let's see, I think I want a little eyelet in there, but I have some little tags here that was in her kit. I think we'll put those in there. I'm going to ink around these. And I just backed them on some heavier cardstock. It's like I said, I printed this out on just about 120 pound, so it's not real thick. So those will go in there, but I think I need to put some eyelets in the top of those two. And then these two larger tickets will go in the top, and I'm going to punch a hole in them and put a little hole reinforcer in them. Alright, let's see how they're going to slide in there. Oh yeah, it's going to peek out just a little bit at the top. And this one will go over here. Just a little bit right there. Cute. And I could put another piece of vellum right here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, a little bit of ink. Okay, so there is another pocket right there. Now let me get some eyelets because I want to put an eyelet in there, I know, and I may want to put one in some of the other ones, but let me grab an eyelet. So let's see. Well, this is not all of my eyelets, but I think I'll be able to get what I need out of here. There's a pink one and another pink one, and then on that one I think I'm going to put one of these green ones. So let's grab our hole punch. This is a crocodile for anybody who's never used one. It will punch a hole and then set an eyelet. Well, it doesn't do it by itself. You have to help it, but the thing is, sometimes I don't get my eyelets set correctly. Oh no, yeah, okay. There we go. Now, just put it in this way. And I have to put mine down on the table because I can't squeeze it with my fingers, but that will work. So there's that one. Let's put a little hole in this one. Okay. And then we can put a little pink eyelet in here. Oh, come on. Some days I'm all thumbs. There we go, like that. Go ahead and set that one. Oh yeah, that's cute. I like that. And now I want to, sorry about the slamming, I want to put a little something coming from the eyelet. So what shall we use? Maybe a little string. Just a little string might be cute. Let's grab a little piece of this white string. My string box is pitiful looking, so and how do we want to run these through? Oh my goodness, look at that. Part of that, the color on that eyelet came off. You know what I will do? I'll use my marker when everything in here gets dry. I'll use my marker and color that back over. Not going to worry about it right now. These eyelets are probably 15 years old, so I can only imagine why they're falling apart. And it was just the color off of it that came off, so it's not a biggie. It's still going to work. It's just that it's going to be silver under there instead of pink. Okay, so there are those. Let's put a little one in this green one. And tuck that right there. Okay, I'm going to trim the little strings off just a little. We don't need them quite that long. There is that side, isn't that cute? And I want to put a little something right here, so I think I'll just use another one of the words from the kit, and I think I'll put beauty on there. Now I could have used my scraps to make this because it's not real large, and I probably got plenty of scraps that I could have used, but I wanted to use this kit on something, so I thought this would be the ideal thing. Trim that off just a tiny bit more. Yeah, now that fits. I'll put that right there at the bottom. But you could certainly use your scraps to make this. It would look very well. And I may make more and just use my scraps. Good way to use them up. So there we go. Got beauty on there. There's our tag in there. Our tag in there. We got vellum right here. And let's see, I think I have some more little tags that we can use. Or we could just tuck some of these little cards in there. So let's grab something to back this on. Just going to see if these little scrap pieces will be big enough. I think they will. Yes, just barely. Just barely. Won't back that one, so we'll grab another piece. All right, we have our little cards cut, and I'm just going to ink around them. All right, we'll tuck one little card right there, and then this one right down in there. So there are our little cards in there. And now we need to cut a little card for here. Okay, I have just cut this out, and this is from the paper collection as well. And I'm just going to back it on something. Where is my paper? I'm going to back that on there, and then I'm going to tuck that one right down in there. And that will be all of our pockets filled up. Right, let's ink around this one, and then this will be our last one. Now, I'll probably go ahead later and stitch around the edge of this one, but this will just be another journal card in here. Back's white. But for now, we're just going to tuck it in, and then, like I said, I'll probably go back later and stitch around it. But you see, there's our little tag in there. There's those tags. And I'm not going to do anything with the back. I like that and the bird, so I'm just going to leave that as is. But that is our little, there's our little journal insert, and it is using just 2 brown envelopes and then the collection from Tina, Shabbydabbydoodah. So, and I will try my best to remember to put her link below. But that's it. Now we can stitch that in our signature either here or here, and that will go in the signature of your journal. Isn't that cute? And they're not hard to make. I mean, the embellishing and cutting out took me more time than, you know, putting everything together, but I think it turned out very cute. Alright guys, that is it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to our channel. We would appreciate it. And we will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.